Hey, what's up, everyone? Back for this Wednesday slate. We got an 8-game slate for today, so let's get right into it. You can drop a like and subscribe down below. This slate's looking pretty interesting. I think it's a little difficult to figure out which hitters you want, just because if you're going to be paying up at pitcher, it's tough to do I would love to get all the Astros bats in there, but they're all really expensive, and it's tough to pay up for pitcher and do like a 4 or 5 man stack of the Astros. And so I think we're going to have to go with some secondary teams. I think the A's make sense against Lyles. They're pretty cheap. And then maybe some one-offs I think is going to be the way to go, especially if the Philly game gets rained out. I'm going to go with Jacob deGrom as my first pitcher at 11-8. He is the best pitcher on the slate. Best matchup, too, facing the White Sox. One of the highest K rates in the league against right-handed pitching. deGrom has just been so good this season, so consistent. 2.86 ERA. He's getting you 20s and 30s. Last couple starts, he put up over 32. Should be another spot where he can get you over 30 and probably go 7 innings, maybe more. Just nobody in this lineup really scares me against righties. She'll be able to strike out, hopefully get close to double digits, if not over double-digit strikeouts. And second pitcher I'll probably go with is going to be your Quiddy here at just 7,000. He has some nice talent. His price tag is starting to go up. But we don't have a ton of options here as your SP2. I'm going to go with a guy that does have some upside. And the Indians, they made a big trade yesterday, but those guys obviously are not going to be in the lineup for today. And they do have some strikeouts in there, as we saw yesterday. They're not a huge strikeout-heavy team, but Verlander, obviously, he can always strike out anybody, and he had 13 Ks in just 7 innings. If your critic can get me like 5-6 strikeouts going like 5-6 innings, that should pay off his 7,000 price tag, and he can get you like 95 pitches. He went 98 in the second start, so he can get up there in the pitch count. Besides him, you could probably look at like Porcello if you want, but there's not a lot that I like. And then maybe you could punt with like Anderson, but not a lot of upside there. So at least your Quiddy has above average strikeout stuff at a cheap price tag, and he's also heavily favored here, so I'll like that fact. And today, I think the A's make for a pretty good stack just because they're very affordable. And looking at some other teams, it's tough to figure out which team you want to stack besides the Astros, and they're very expensive. So at first base, I'm going to go with Matt Olson here at only 4,300. Olson's been really, really good this season. 22 home runs. Batting average is solid at 260. Just a lot of power. Facing Lyles, who gives up a ton of power, especially to lefties. It's a good matchup for him. Even though this is in Oakland, they can still score some runs here. The A's have had some decent games at home as of late. And Lyles has just been really bad as of late, so hopefully that can continue for at least one more start. Lefties have a 603 slugging percentage off of him and a 321 average. He's also given up some power to righties, too, as of late. They 454 slugging. Lefties have a 5.23 xFIP. And just strikeouts are 3% lower. The walks are 5% higher. He's given up a 42% fly ball rate and a 39% hard hit rate to lefties. The A's don't have a ton of lefties, but I think Olson makes for a tremendous play as a one-off or as part of a mini stack. At second base, going to go with a cheap guy in Garcia. He's been leading off for the Cubs the last couple starts, and hopefully that can continue today. If we get him leading off at just 3,500, that's going to be a really nice price tag and a really nice salary saver here at second base. He hasn't been great as of late. Has been striking out a lot, but Mikolas isn't a big-time strikeout pitcher. Show you the numbers for Mikolas this season, and if he's batting leadoff, Garcia does have a lot of power and should get plenty of RBI opportunities and run scored opportunities. This season, Mikolas has been pretty good, but they still giving up over a 400 ISO to both sides of the plate. He's given up 17 home runs already, and not a very strikeout-heavy pitcher. 17% to lefties, and Garcia is going to bat switch hitter, and he has a 5.07 xFIP to lefties. So Garcia makes for a lot of sense here as a cheap second baseman who is a switch hitter. In the outfield, I will be going with Ryan Braun. I think is a nice play at 4,100 or 4,200. We know Braun is always good against lefties. He's had some good success against Brett Anderson. And he really matches up well against Brett Anderson's pitches. If you look at Plate IQ or another tool like that, you could see Braun really mashes all the pitches that Anderson throws. And Braun still has that power against lefties. This year he has 6 home runs against lefties and just 108 at-bats. He has a 241 ISO against lefties and only a 17% strikeout rate. And career-wise, he's always mashed lefties with a career 318 average against lefties. So I do like Ryan Braun here. He's been decent this year. This is a matchup that I think he can have some success in. And the Brewers also are going to be a little more appealing to stack just because they do get that DH today going into the American League Park. And last but not least, hopefully this guy can start going on a tear now that he finally hit one out. Chris Davis, he is probably the streakiest hitter in all of baseball, or one of the most streakiest hitters. When he's cold, he's ice cold, as he went 29 games without hitting a home run. That finally ended yesterday. And when he's hot, he's really hot. So when he's hot, he can hit like 5 home runs in like 3 games. At only 3,300, it's a lovely price tag facing Lyles, who has given up a ton of power and a ton of runs over his last like 4 or 5 starts. 3,300, not going to get much better price tag for Chris Davis. And he still has that monstrous upside. And hopefully yesterday's performance jumpstarts him to finish off the season strong. So that's what I like for my hitters. I'm gonna try to do my best to get some Astros in the lineup facing Plesac. Plesac's been good this season, but the Astros are probably far and away the most appealing stack on this slate. But they're extremely expensive. Springer at 56. I think Alvarez is my favorite play at 55. If I can get up there. And then Correa is expensive. Bregman's over 5K. Altuve's over 5K. So DraftKings does not make it easy for you to play the Astros. The Indians, I'm probably going to be playing Urquidy, but I think Lindor, Ramirez, given the way they've been swinging the bat, are great plays. And probably the Rangers, I don't like picking on them. They're going to be facing a lefty for most of the innings, facing LeBlanc. I don't like picking on them versus lefties, but we got some nice prices on like Mazzara. Pence at 47, although he's cooled off significantly. Andrews is just 43, and Danny Santana, although he's really expensive. And some other A's I think you can go with. They're very cheap, so that's definitely appealing. You got Pinder at 34. Laureano's hurt, so Pinder definitely get a lot more playing time. You got Marquena at 43. Simeon's been pretty good. Chapman's a great play at third base at 41. Nice price tag there. And on the Brewers, I like Braun. Kane at 38's nice. Shortstop Arcia has a really pump play. Hero's really expensive, but he's really good at 52. And then probably Aguilar at 31. It's a nice, cheap first baseman option. And that's kind of it. And maybe the Red Sox facing probably Yarborough for most of the innings. You got Betts, Martinez. Solid plays. Bogarts as well, but they're also very expensive. And Yarborough hasn't given up a ton of power. I think he's only given up 6 home runs all season. So yeah, it's definitely one of the interesting slates. But we got to work with what we got. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and good luck today.